And welcome to Jawaballs Live. I have no idea what episode this is. I just lose track after a while. Let's look at some fun stuff, right? Well, behold, the table gets messier. Look at this. Look at this chaos. What a mess I have here. Um, the more I add to this army, the bigger the pile gets, and the messier the table becomes. So, hi, everyone that's popping in. I'm gonna show the dreadnought. So, I'm just waiting. I'm giving some people some time to pop in here before I get started with the dreadnought. Because I put this up online. There should be several people coming in, including Chris from Powered Play Gaming, who is the company that gave me these LEDs to work with. So I want him to pop in, and he can answer questions for you guys as well in the chat. So I'm giving it a few minutes before I get started on that. Whoa, pardon my ceiling. In the meantime, what have I got for you? Any questions? Yeah, that Dreadnought's coming out in a couple of minutes. You'll see him in all of his LED glory. Yeah, they had a Kickstarter where they successfully funded their product here. Here's the logo off the piece of wrapping that I tore apart. I met the guys at the Nova Open, and I had a nice little conversation with them, and they showed me some of their models that they had done as testers, and the stuff came out pretty nice. So I got in touch with them when I decided to step the game up, because when I was at Mechanicon, my buddy Bill, our armies were painted about the same, but he scored better than me on the painting rubric because basically he had cooler stuff in that he had LEDs in his Riptide's gun. So, at this point, when everybody's scoring max, not everybody, but the top painters are scoring maximum on their battle or their painting rubric, you really need things to give your army an edge, to define and make a difference. I don't any longer play that Blood Angels army. Someone asked me what happened to that Blood Angels army. My red Angels is not really playable in 6 ed. It's still beautiful, and it's here, and it's for sale. But that's if you gotta really be committed to buying that one because it's not going cheap. But I lost my train of thought. You guys do that to me all the time. Oh, thanks, Miss, for putting that up there. That was nice of you. So Miss, the moderator, put the link up to poweredplay.net, and I'm going to put that link when I upload this to YouTube as well for you guys. So trend of thought gone. But anyway, so I met these guys at the Nova Open, and they showed me these LEDs that they have, which are kind of plug and play pre-made things. Oh, I know what I was talking about, painting scores. So the painting scores. Basically now, you have 5 or 6 guys that are maxing out the painting rubric. So you're looking for the little tiny things that make each army unique, and that's what it's coming down to now. I'm maxing out my points for my display and my painting, but usually now they're adding extra little points for extra special touches, which my Tau army didn't have anything special about it. It would look nice, but there was nothing really remarkable about it. So anyway, that was my impetus for doing the LED lighting on this army as much as possible. It's difficult to do LEDs when most of your stuff is already assembled because you got to wire it into the model. So that's one of my biggest issues I'm having, is that most of my Lamenters are already assembled and just waiting for paint. So yeah, let's talk. I think, what is it, 7:03? I'll wait a few more minutes before I really start talking about the models, because I want to give the guys a chance to pop in. Anyway, I met Chris from Powered Play at Nova, and we talked, and I saw some really cool stuff. And it was really kind of a genius idea, because a lot of people want to do the LEDs, but the thing is, myself included, we're a little intimidated by the effort and unknown cost of having to wire and solder and set up all these things. So the idea behind this awesome thing is to just plug and play and pre-do all of that work for you. So all you really have to do is open up the difficult to open package, I might say, and plug it all in, and boom, it works. And then you got to wire it. Now, definitely you're limited as far as the length of the wires that are pre-wired. You might need some minor wiring ability to like twist wires together and stuff if you want to make the wires shorter or longer. But in general, it works pretty well. I'm grumpy with you, Jawa. Because of your last show, I finished to paint 20 Chaos Space Marines of my Renegade. Thanks. LEDs working in jump packs? Well, yeah. Not exactly probably with these little things. Maybe. You would need probably some more advanced ability to get. I think I've seen them in jump packs actually, but you would need to work with really small LEDs and small bits of wire. That's beyond me. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and just start talking about this and showing off what I've got here. Let's go. My mad scientist workstation. I showed you last week my own attempt at doing Jawa LEDs, right? When I used the T-light, I think I showed you this guy for my captain, the little flame. And that's what really turned me on to doing more LEDs. I got kind of the bug to do it. So here's my dreadnought. I'll start him off with the canopy on, I guess. Basically what I had to do with the dreadnought, everybody back up. Such a mess. Everyone just get out of the way. Alright. So what I did, I'll zoom in a few minutes. The dreadnought was already assembled and painted red for my Blood Angels. Yeah, I'll talk about batteries in a second. I'll talk about all that stuff as I get there. I don't want to stop. I always lose my train of thought when I answer questions. So someone asked what size batteries they use and stuff. So this dreadnought was already assembled and painted, and he was part of my drop pod dreadnought army, which I talked about a while ago. That's what kind of got me thinking about the dreadnought, was talking about that list. So I pulled them out, and the first thing I had to do was tear them apart so I could wire, the bits of LED inside the dreadnought. And thankfully, this particular model, which is the new Ironclad Dreadnought, popped apart pretty easy. And it's got lots of space inside to add stuff. The body itself was easy to pop apart. The arms I kind of had to cut. I had to drill into the wrist here all the way up, and then to actually just tear apart the whole arm after I glued it, then glue it all back together with the LED inside. So, I'm trying to think of where I'm going first with this discussion on what I did. There's so much to talk about here. So, well, let's talk about, before I get to the dreadnought, let's talk about the packet that comes. So, in the packet, here's what you get. A collection of LED strings. Once you get them separated. And each one is labeled with its color. Here's the green one. There's 2 LEDs on each string, coupled to a single plug. So, and you get a yellow, green, blue, red, white. Five strings. Yellow, green, blue, red, white. 5 strings of LEDs. Also, what you get in here, what's this one? Yeah, yellow. Yeah, you get. I'm unplugging this again so I can plug it. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. The little circuit board, which has space for a switch to plug in, a battery to plug in, and 4 sets of LEDs. You get a switch, which unfortunately is kind of large for any small models like Jump Marines. But, yeah, they can be a pain in the ass if you have fat fingers like me. But, But it works great for like tanks and larger vehicles. And I found a way to kind of hide it on this dreadnought. I'll show you that in a few minutes. So you get a switch which plugs in, and you have two options as far as a battery. You can purchase a mini LED or a mini 9-volt, which is this little guy, which plugs in, or it comes with a regular 9-volt adapter, which also plugs. So this is all the basic pack right here, plus the 9-volt is extra. And what you have to do here, is start working. It's all pretty obvious where the stuff goes. The 9-volt plugs into one of the larger plugs. The switch plugs into the other large plug. And then you plug in your LEDs. Again, you can plug in 4 strings to a single board here. So now I'm good to go. Plug and play is done. Here's my green LEDs. Switch on. There we go. Now this was so awesome when I first plugged it in. I was like, that is so simple. It's like perfect. So now I can go ahead and play around with my other LEDs and plug them in. And I'll show you why this is a good thing in a few minutes too. So, plugged in my blue ones. I'm not going to plug them all in, obviously. You can see where that goes. I'm going to turn the switch off for now because this is my other set. So there's all the components that come in the basic bag. They also sell another pack of fiber optics, which I'll show you how I use these in a second. It comes with three lengths of fiber optic plus a couple of rectangular bars. So let's talk dreadnought then. So when I made this guy, I tore him apart, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with it until I kind of started tearing it apart and had the insides ready to go. And the arms, like I said, I tore them apart, and I had to drill an opening into here. Want me to turn it on for you guys? Yes, so you could have them plug into the display board and have everything run off one switch. Exactly. Someone just commented on that. Is that a 3mm fiber optics? I don't know the dimensions of the fiber optics. It comes with 3 sizes. Here they are. Can you see what we got here? I have no idea what these dimensions are. These are the 3 sizes that come in the pack. Plus 2 of these little bars. And there's for some reason there's a file in there too. I don't know what the file was for, honestly. But here's the file. So once I got them opened up, I was able to visualize where the LEDs were going to go. And then I decided what I wanted to have light up. First of all, I decided to light up, get my fat fingers out of the way here. Look, this is what this thing's for. I decided to light up the little range finders that are underslung on the dreadnought's chassis. And at first I was just going to light up the inside of the cockpit. But then I know that lighting up in the background was going to actually silhouette the pilot, make him hard to see. And I wanted to do more with the lights. So as I worked with it, I decided I could drill out these little range finders with my pinning drill right here. And so I drilled all the way up into the chassis with those things. And then I ran the LEDs up so that they're pointing into the holes that I drilled. And then I cut some lengths of the fiber optic and pushed them into the holes, so that they're actually up against the point of the LED lights. You can see them right there behind the pilot. There's 2 blue ones here. I drilled holes in the bottom of the dreadnought and ran the LEDs up through the holes in the bottom. I wanted to try and string the lines up through the legs, but I didn't want to have to tear the legs apart. The next time I will do this, I'll actually try and drill holes and lay the wires up in there so they're totally hidden. I'll show you how I hid the wires afterwards. So anyway, fiber optics went into the rangefinders and they're butt up against the LEDs. So what happens now when I turn them on is this. You can see the fiber optics carry the light right to the edge, but diffuse it so that it's just a glowing kind of just glowing lenses there, and not really the bright LEDs. And the LEDs themselves lend a nice glow to the inside of the cockpit, which is great for when the canopy is on. You can see the nice glow inside there. Yes, someone said it's a lot of work. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's awesome when it comes out. So inside the arms, I inserted all I did was take the red LED, which, you know, it's got the two LEDs on the string. They're all tangled together. Untangle. Oh, how frustrating. Give me one that's not tangled. There we go. So you can see that all I did was I strung the two lights up into the body, through the holes on the side, into the arms, and then down through the wrist here, where they set there. You need to go back downstairs, Jack. Right now. I'll see you later.
No, I want to walk the lawn.
No, not right now. Bye, Mommy. And so these wires you don't really see on the inside. You know, I just put them up through the shoulder and down into the arm. And then I glued the arms back together. They fit pretty nice. And they're hidden well. Yeah, I know. Here he comes. Yeah, they actually, yeah, the camera is having it. Let me see if I zoom out a bit. Maybe that will have a little effect on it. Let's see what happens when I put this on. Kind of just leaves the lenses showing up. Blocks out some of the bright light. So it was pretty easy once I got going, and once, you know, now that I know what I'm doing, to string the lighting into this dreadnought. It took me a while to figure it out, but now I know what to do. And so the next time I do something like this, it'll be much easier for me to figure it out. So anyway, that was the dreadnought and stringing them all together. Now let's talk about how I hid all the wiring and stuff. As you know, I've been using these Lemax bits of sidewalk here for my bases for my lamenters, and you know, so they're really perfect because they're built up. They're like a 1/4 inch thick, and they have these plastic kind of supports, which I cut out. I cut them all out, so then it leaves a nice space. And what I did I stacked up two upon each other to make a stair kind of raised dais here. Let me zoom out a bit so I stay on screen. And then I cut out all of the inner supports, leaving myself a good 1/2 inch of space underneath the base here. So really, the only angle where it doesn't look great is from this side right here, where I've got the switch. Which once I get the switch painted and stuff, and I'm gonna fill this with some putty or something, you won't really see much of that either. I kind of had to start being careful with what I was doing because I was putting flocking sand to kind of cover it up, and I got sand into the switch, and it was hard to turn it on and off. So. Oh, and by the way, I use hot glue to secure the LEDs into the body. And then I had plenty of space. So inside the base here, I tucked my 9-volt battery into the base, along with all the wires. And on the base itself, I glued the board. Let me here's the battery. I glued the board so that I could access the other empty holes later. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. Then I drilled holes into the base here, and I ran the wires up through. And the intention here is that he's a dreadnought kind of in a repair stanchion in the base, and this is his kind of charging bay. So these are little pipes coming out of the ground with the wires that kind of wind up into him, so that he's getting charged up. I'm going to have a gantry that goes up and over, And the beauty of all these extra spots on the board here is that I can put him into his repair gantry, and inside the gantry itself, I can have my other LEDs and then plug them in to the board here. So when he's on display, this dreadnought not only runs his own lights, but also the other lights I have in the display board. Never use super glue for the fiber optics. I did not know that. Now I do. Someone said never use super glue. I'll catch it up on the chat here. I've been kind of talking without looking. Yeah, so definitely the easy way out, but I didn't have much choice because everything was already assembled before I started working on it. And then I just kind of started patching some of the open holes. I put hot glue in there to kind of fill it up and cover it up. So that battery is never coming out of there. Fortunately, though, I can just kind of clip away the wires, and if I want to, I can add a 9-volt if I really need to light this up. Hey, thanks for popping in. Someone's watching from Australia. You're like it's like 7:20 a.m. over there, huh? So anyway, filled up the base. It worked really cool, especially from the front. You can't really even tell there's any LED, there's all that wiring and battery and stuff. And you know, it took me several hours to figure it all out and make it work. And I need some more work on the base here to make it look nicer. You know, when I put him into his repair bay, I'm going to have other wiring and stuff to kind of match the wiring on his base. But, you know, so there'll be broken wires here and there. And I want to have the repair stanchion, you know, with a couple of servitors, kind of welding. These guys, Powered Play, have, you know, they only had their one prototype, but they've got another board on the way that has flickering lights, so I can make it look like they are welding and stuff. So I'm going to have some of those in the background as well once I get them. And what else with this guy? So much to go over here. Such an amazing process. And when it's all done and painted, it's going to look awesome. So yeah. The other LEDs that I have, I don't know. I was thinking of trying to figure out a way to do up my Storm Raven here. I don't know really where I would do it. It's kind of hard looking in here. But if I was really thinking crazy, I have open access to the headlights here. So I could probably get away with, or maybe even pull it apart to try and fit in there, with wiring up those headlights with some LEDs as well. Or maybe try and run one up into the cockpit to light the cockpit. I could probably do that pretty easy. I don't know. Again, if you're going to LED your vehicles, do it before you put them all together. Thanks, man. It's the Storm Raven. Yeah, this was mostly out. You know, some of you guys who haven't been on my show yet, this was mostly all just airbrushed. And now I'm working on the detailing, which is going to take forever. Oh, come back here. You know, the checkers on the wings and stuff. Airbrushing is only like a third of the actual work I have to do on this. Yeah, some guy commented that cockpit lighting would look cool with fiber optic. I'm probably going to do that. At the very least, I can drill a couple of holes into the back there and just run some fiber optics up into it. I can do all that while it's still assembled right into the cockpit. And I don't have the turret even assembled yet, so I can light up the turret as well. Yeah, there's a couple of little kind of view screens in the cockpit. I can light them up. Again, I can't get too involved with it because it's already assembled and I'm not going to tear it apart. So that was it. This was my progress this week, getting this guy assembled. I know I started talking about him last week, and then boom, instant instant work. Oh, definitely. You're gonna see a lot more of this posted up, guys. Someone asked if I would post it on my blog. Um, just keep following, keep looking at the blog, and I'll be posting up updates there as well as on the War Master and on Bolter and Chainsword. Definitely. The blog's easiest for me to update, so that's where you'll see the most pictures of it as I go. Um, wow. So here he is. I'll turn him on for you one more time. We'll put his armor on. Where's the oh, there it is. Oh no. Can you see lights through the little viewfinder? I cut the little hole here, and I tried to have the LED showing through, but you can only do so much. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this. I was thinking of maybe pulling it apart so the pilot is exposed more, but I think all I'm really going to do is just have this so that it goes on and it stays on or off, and really kind of deck out the inside of the cockpit so it can be pulled off for display and then put back on for play. Yeah, dude, show it up. If you're watching this and you're not in the chat, you should get in the chat and join the conversation here. So if someone else asked about things like jump marines and stuff, if you had a small enough LED, you could definitely do it. I'm not really sure it's worth the effort, but things like a centerpiece model, like my bike here, my priest bike. Definitely maybe coming up into here and putting an LED into his, even like lighting up his. Well, I could do that maybe with fiber optics. Light up his the little rangefinder in his backpack. Down the road, as I become more familiar, definitely with this pack from Powered Play, it helps me to understand how it works and what my options are. So it's a fantastic starting point for someone that is new to the LEDs. Oh, turn this off. Catching up on the chat here. Jawa, you do a lot of work and still you find more work for you. Yeah, that's the problem. I paint these things up and then I feel the need to do more. So and that time is already December now, and I have to have this army done by February 6th. So I've only got 2 months left to paint this army, and I'm only like 25% done. Yeah, people are commenting about the fiber optics in Necrons. Definitely, these are like golden for Necrons, and make them just glow with fiber optics. I don't know if LEDs come in any smaller sizes. I don't know what size these are. These are pretty big for small models. They're more intended, I think, for vehicles. Yeah, that's what holidays are for. I got the thing is I've got Christmas break too, where I'm a teacher and I'm off for like 10 days, but I'm going to spend half that time traveling. I'm going away this weekend to travel to see my wife's family. So the holidays are actually the worst time to paint. Plus I got the Jawa baby crawling all over me. So these are 3mm, someone's saying, and these must be the smallest that are available. Someone makes 2mm. I don't know. I don't have any reference to see for how big or small those are. But it would be nice to do more LEDs. But frankly, I think that's enough. A couple of small little touches. Too much just becomes overdone. Um, so just a couple of touches. I'm gonna have the landing pad for my Storm Raven uh, lit up with some LEDs. I'm gonna have the gantry for the repair dreadnought lit up, and that's about it. Maybe a couple of light posts here and there um, in the temple. The dreadnought? You mean the chaos thing? Someone said the dreadnought in the Dark Vengeance box would be an easy one. Yeah, uh, this dreadnought honestly was pretty easy if I hadn't pre-assembled because there's cavities in the arms. It's really kind of perfect for this, and the legs are actually kind of wide. I could just kind of cut here, or we just cut the middle out here and run wire up through it. Then it will fit all the way. Just run it up, cut it here, and run the wire in there. It's possible, but you don't really need to cut much because the leg comes in two pieces, so you can take it apart and just lay the wire in as you put it together. Um, so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at my LED dreadnought. I certainly had a lot of fun making this model, and it kind of this army is rejuvenating my interest in the game. I really was waning in interest in motivation, but doing these lamenters has kind of re-inspired me to want to paint and play Warhammer. So so I'm happy that I feel good about doing this again. Now I just need to get it going on. I need to start actually finishing units. So I think that I was working on doing the Terminators, but they just take so much time with trying to just base coat them with Ayan and Dark Sun. I think what I'm going to do is just finish up some of the half-finished squads here that I have to just get them squared away and done. I've got a couple of models from each squad that are mostly done, and start getting them out of the way. I have to paint the combat scouts that I have, which are completely and totally useless, but they look cool. The other cool thing I'm going to have with this display board is a little motion. I'm going to use. I think I talked about this before with animated skating pond for like Christmas models. I just got to find one that's not too expensive. Right now, of course, right before Christmas, they're all jacked up in price. I should have bought it like in June. But that'll be once I get that, I'll talk about how that's going to work in. I have to get the materials for my display board too. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. If there's no more questions, or if you guys don't want to see any more of the LED stuff, if you want me to show you the pack again, I can go over that again. I can show you the board again if you want to. I was just surprised at how easy it was to put it all together. Definitely took a lot of the stress and anxiety that I had with trying to put this together. Yeah, I gotta go. It's I got the wife downstairs calling for me, and what did I use to make the flames for the Terminator? This is just a Halloween pumpkin tea light. I don't have one up here to show you. Like those little. Well, here's the base of it. A little pumpkin tea light, and I tore the cover off it and exposed the little board and the wiring and stuff, and just popped the little LED up into the through the base, and surrounded it with hot glue. And and there it is, a little fire. As I'm working with the hot glue, I kind of pull it up to kind of stretch it out so it comes to a point. And I put a bunch of little dollops of hot glue. Then I painted it with a little glaze, and then painted the tips black of the points. And there it is, quick and easy. And it looks pretty awesome. Yeah, I've used a bunch of them before to make smoke markers. In one of my old displays, I actually had them as burning cauldrons on the display, and then they doubled as smoke markers that you would put on your tank when it's been destroyed. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you guys for popping in, and I really appreciate all the support. And definitely keep track. Follow my blog, and you'll see updates as I post them up about this army. It's coming along, and you're going to see the first 2 weeks of January. It's really going to come along. You'll see a lot of completion here. So it's going to look good. And then, as I talked about last week, there's going to be an upcoming Best Painted Only Invitational at a tournament I'm going to. So I definitely want to play in that tournament, because all the guys that are playing in the tournament are going to be Best Painted winners at previous grand tournaments. So you have to win a Best Painted to be eligible to play in this one little tournament. And it's going to be pretty awesome, which means really every army in the tournament is going to be beautiful, and all the dudes are going to be kind of cool dudes, because the painters tend not to be the min-maxing kind of guys that are just out there to bust face, which I admit to being myself. But but I'm really excited about that, which also has helped to rejuvenate my interest in painting. So I'm really, the only tournament I'm going to play in before that is TempleCon in February. So I'm really motivated to try and compete for Best Painted. But I think I got a good shot with this army. So thanks, everyone, for popping in. I really appreciate it. And I'll be posting this up on YouTube very soon for you to see it again, if you choose to want to rewatch how he did all this. All right, more to come. Thank you.